Thanks, Trish. Well, the other day we were talking about which animals can play the best hide and seek. And well, these double-banded sandgrouse, that's the male. Beautiful coloured face. And there's the female. The not so beautiful coloured face are extremely camouflaged birds. And they're in the road right now, which makes them not so camouflaged. But I remember once finding a pair like this with some chicks, and that pair took off, and basically sitting where they are like that, I knew where they'd been sitting. I went back there. I couldn't see the chicks. It took me a few minutes to figure out that the chicks were all these very colourful, these very camouflaged, downy sort of combinations that help to blend them right in to the ground. Very, very cool birds. Sandgrouse. Hang on a second, I'm being called. Oh, Trish will answer. Okay, so there's a herd of buffalo coming in from the north, which is very cool. Coming in from the north around Torchwood. We'll see if we find anything on our way through. We might go and have a look. But double-banded sandgrouse are known for the fact that they actually are the only bird that I can think of that's able to provide water for their chicks. So they fly to and from water, and normally in the early evening, and the male, specifically the male, sticks his breast into the water, and the feathers are designed in such a way that they act like a sponge. Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? It's like, who spoke about my sponge-like chest? And those feathers work like a sponge, and they soak up the water, and they fly back to the nest, and the chicks glean the water out of his feathers. It's a very, very cool trick. Most other seed-eating birds have to physically bring their chicks insects so as to provide them with water while they're in the nest. And then after they've eaten insects as hatchlings, then they are able to then start ingesting seeds once they're able to start moving around and feeding, obviously, and then also go and drink. But sandgrouse are a very good sort of understanding or idea of how to find water. If you are lost in the wilderness, you just have to hope that when you see them flying, that they are headed to water, not away from it. And a very cool call. They go, we play volleyball. We play volleyball. Lily, well, in the animal kingdom, in the bird kingdom, it's generally the male who's very flashy and good looking when it comes to the male needing to acquire mates. But sometimes the male is not as pretty as the female, and that is when the female is polygynous, and that is when she mates with more than one. And snipes are a good example of the female being prettier than the male. There's not that many examples. African jacanas look the same, although the female is polygynous. There's no real difference in her apparel. But all of these colors and shapes and designs in birds are all a process of very selective evolution. It probably once started with one sort of feather out of place, and the female's like, oh, I like that. And then the breeding started selecting for the animal that was slightly different or more attractive, and then slowly over time you get the birds of paradise in Madagascar that have got the most elaborate displays and the most elaborate formations of plumage that you will ever see. And that is from a very long line of selective females. The same goes for nest building. The first weaver probably just did this little bulb of grass. Wasn't very good, but it was more secure than its counterparts, and slowly but surely the nest building weaving got much more intricate. Well, this is probably the best sandgrouse sighting I've ever had. I'll play the call for you now that we've had them for so long. Are you ready? that. We play volleyball. I'm not going to play it again. You could see it reacted, didn't you? We have a roadblock though at the moment. They think we can't see them.